everyone, I'm Deanne from Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, Stitching on the Rock. We are at episode 69 and it is March the 9th. Hi, if you're a new subscriber or checking my channel out for the first time, welcome. I'm so happy that you decided to join me. And if you're one of my returning subscribers, welcome back. A day late again. Yesterday I got caught up in a few things around the house, and then after lunch Aaron, my son, his dad and I took him to a Special Olympics little sporty activity thing. They were playing bocce, which is a game that he plays at school with Special Olympics. So this little thing that event, they do different sports, but yesterday happened to be the bocce one, so we thought we'd give it a try. It went okay. It didn't go great. It didn't go terribly. Aaron has a bit of obsessive compulsive in with his autism, and we were in the gym and there was 4 doors there, and he just opens and closes, opens and closes, and got caught up in that when it wasn't his turn to play. When it was his turn to play, he did great, but in between he has this need to be doing something, and you know, it could have been worse. He could have been on the 3rd floor of the building, you know, but you know, and the more times he goes, hopefully the less he will be with that. Unfortunately, they have a session in 2 weeks. They do a different sport each week. I don't know if it's frisbee. I don't know if it's something he's going to be interested in. But then they have a break, and then they have to switch to Monday evenings. And unfortunately, he goes to his dad's every other Monday. And his dad picks him up at 5:30, and this event starts at 6. So like, that's not going to work. And then I can take him on the Mondays I have him, but then if he's got schoolwork, that's not going to happen. So I think we're going to have to skip, and maybe the next session they have, which is, I guess, in June. Maybe it'll work out. Well, hopefully it will work out to be a better day, and we'll try again. But I did sign him up for the bocce with the Special Olympics for the summer. So that's July and August on Sunday evenings. So like, that's no problem. And yeah, other than that, it's been work and school and life and snow. Yesterday I could see my front lawn. I had this little teeny tiny patch of snow left, and then I woke up this morning and everything was covered in snow. But that's March in Newfoundland, so you never know. We still aren't going to get one more extra big storm. We always get one around St. Patrick's Day. It's known as Sheila's brush here, and legend is Sheila was Patrick's wife or sister or something, and he asked her for a drink and she threw water at him and it turned to snow, and so we get a snowstorm around St. Patrick's Day. I know it's a little odd, but that's what it is. So anyway, on to the stitching, which I know is what you guys are here for. So for anyone new, I have thread all over me. Anyone new, I am starting 55 new projects in March for turning 55. Did I say in March? I'm starting 55 new projects in 2025 because I'm turning 55 this year, and I have the lovely Carmen. Hi Carmen, who's joining me along on this crazy journey. And so I divide my whips that I show you into pre-2025 whips and 2025, which are the new things that I've started and have worked on. So first up, the pre-2025 ones. That makes sense. Whip Go numbers were called. I used the whips that I moved forward into this year for Whip Go because they are mostly full coverage. The 2 that aren't are also big projects. So number 9 was called and number 24 was called, and I, instead of writing the project names in my Whip Go board, I write goals. So 9 was to stitch 500 stitches on a project, 24 is to work on a project for 5 days. They overlapped with a challenge on Whip Warriors, a Facebook challenge group that I'm a member of, which was March's is Lion and Lamb. So it's a full coverage challenge. You start with your least number of stitches full coverage and go to your biggest full coverage, and you put 1,000 stitches in as many as you can. And then this weekend on Whip Warriors is focus on a finish, and I always work on the same project for that. So they all kind of rolled into one big challenge thing. So I'll start with the one project that the challenge is finished. So the first project that I had to put 1,000 stitches in, my smallest project, is Quick Stitch Snowflake Wonder by Lisa Victoria. They're all Heaven and Earth designs, my full coverages. This one has just over 40,000 stitches, so it's the smallest piece that I'm working on in full coverage. So I put 1,000 stitches in. I am at 27.94%. It is stitched 2/2 on 28 count ice blue. And here is where we are in the project. So almost 30% done. And my stitches went into this little bit of blue here and this purple over here. So, oh, and if I didn't say, I always put up a picture of what it's supposed to look like. One of these sides of me, whichever it fits in. So there we are. So next up, the 500 stitches I pulled. I'm with Go. I spun my wheel. I've got Mini Warm at Home by Irina Garmashoff, and it is also the second smallest project I have. So I'm putting in 1,000 stitches. I have 482 stitches in so far of 1,000. So I am at 12.69%. It is stitched 1/1 on 28 count ivory. Here is where we are with the project, and as you can see, my thread and my needle are still there because I hit the weekend and switched to the focus on finished piece. So here is where we are, and my 500 plus 482, which is 982 stitches, are all done in 310, and they're all here, and I've started moving over here. So I've basically been diagonally stitching down the black there, and here is where we are. So my 5 days turned out on River's Edge. My focus on a finish is River's Edge, and including in that, I'm trying to stitch 1,000 stitches. Now, it's not my third smallest piece, but I'm gonna take the pictures and save it because I'm not stitching another 1,000 stitches on. So far I have 773 stitches in on it, and I am at 30.15%. So I hit the 30% barrier and gone over a little bit, and I'm still stitching on this today. Is day 4 and tomorrow, and they're also part of the focus on the finish weekend goes from Thursday to Monday, so I should get definitely 1,500. So here is where we are. It's stitched 1/1 on Lichen Gray. This project is for my son. He loves ducks, and hoping to have it for him for when he graduates in June, but I'm thinking it's probably going to be a Christmas gift. And I really cannot tell you where I put in the 773, except that I'm filling in some of the background here. I know this duck got more put in. I know this blue got more put in. So with this one, I'm a kind of pick a thread and stitch until I run out or I have no more stitches in that color. and pick another color. But it's coming along. I'd never be able to do it without Pattern Keeper. And I really wish that some of the starts I have that are paper charts, or I could get Pattern Keeper compatible patterns, because a couple of them are, my poor old eyes are not good with the patterns, either the paper or the PDFs. I have one that's PDF that's I'm struggling with because it's a full color pattern, and there's about 6 colors that are very similar. I'll show you when I get to it. And my first one from my 2025 whips that I'm working on, October 31st by Cottage Garden Samplings, Time for All Seasons series, and this is 3 out of 4 patterns that I'm doing for this series. I've completed First Signs of Spring and Strawberry Harvest, and the pattern, even though it's not a huge pattern, I find that the symbols in the raven are, they're not similar. I just find it very hard to read the symbols for some reason. Anyway, it is stitched 1/2 on 36 count winter moon that I then dyed with Rit dye, pearl gray, tan, and navy blue. And here is where we are. Sorry about the wrinkles. So getting there. So I have finished the outline of the pumpkin, and I had a little bit of thread left, so I came up one of the ribs here, and then I moved up to the raven and started doing some filling along its back, and that. But I can't even explain to you why I struggled with, and I struggled with the other 2 patterns in this series too. Some of it is that I find that if you got a light color and a dark color, they have put the darker symbol for the light thread and the light symbol for the darker thread, which just throws my brain off, you know. Like normally you think, oh, dark fabric, dark color, dark symbol. And that, I struggle with that a lot. But this one, it just, like I said, it just, all 3 of them, even though I love their designs and plan to do more, I struggle with their patterns. And if they were Pattern Keeper compatible, I'd have no trouble at all. Next up is my teach chart, Rainbow Supernova by Climbing Goat Designs, which does the highs and lows of every day in stitches. And I'm doing it this year because my son is graduating from high school, and I thought it was thought it was a good year to have a memento of. So I'm stitching this 2/2 28 count black linen. I have to use my sheet because it's a very see-through fabric. So here is where we are. I had to move the Q-snap, so I took it off for this video. I have stitched up as far as the 5th of March. So as you can see, once again, we're like yellows on a couple of days and dark blue on another day. I don't know if you can actually see the blue very well. I'm going to try it since it's on this side. Hold it on this side so you can see like the 5th and like all over the place. Rarely do I use the same color for 2 days in a row where our temperatures are, but it makes it hard to figure out what jacket to wear when you go outside, because like this was +7 or 8, somewhere around there, and then this was 0. Excuse me. But yeah, it's a fun stitch and doesn't take long to stitch, using lots of threads up. I'll show you when I show you the last couple that I keep forgetting to tell you and show you. After every video, I'm like, oh, I should have shown them that I decided in January with my new starts for this year, I was keeping my ords. I never keep my ords, like never. But I decided this year that I was going to keep them for the year. And so I'll show you in a minute when I'm done showing you the last couple of darts that I have. And they are right. Not my first go through today. So last video I told you that my next dart was going to be Seasoned in Chalk Spring by Priscilla Blaine and Kathy Haberman. Spring, which is from Just Cross Stitch, April 2016. I'd love to find the other three, but not a priority. I know I could probably find them and order them online, but it's not high on my list for right now. And so I'm stitching this 2/2 on a piece of 28 count Monaco that I dyed with charcoal. I'm using all the called for threads, and I know I'm very close to the border, but I'm gonna just back it on a board, so I will make it work. Something that if I ever do find the others, something I can exchange them out. So that's what I have done. I have the corner and flowers done, and I'd say half the S because it swirls up inside. So, but I have a feeling I'm going to need more chalk. The pattern just says one of each, but like everything is outlined in chalk. And this is a swirl, and then there's a bunny, and he's outlined in the chalk. So I'm definitely going to need more chalk. And I'm not sure, but I may need more of the tea rose, which is the pink. But they're not variegated, so I'm not worried about dye lots or anything like that. But it's really cute. Really enjoyed it. And last, this was the PDF pattern that I was talking about that I'm struggling with. I started on Wednesday. Anna Green Gables by MIYAstitch on Etsy. I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers, and it's so adorable, and I'm so enjoying it. But there's there's 4 or 5 shades of like strawy color in her hat, and there's a couple of blends between them too. But on the pattern, there is very little difference in the color of the square of all of these. So, and like they mix in with each other when you stitch them. So making sure that you're stitching with the right color is not easy. And there's also like a ton of back stitching in this as well. So I'm stitching it 2/2 on 28 count vintage country mocha linen, and here we are. So I just started over here, this right here, the second last color that goes in that. So like the palest color up here goes around the outside. So I'm getting through the hat, and I'm hoping to have that and possibly one braid done by the time I'm done with this on Tuesday. So yeah, very, very cute. Can't wait to get it done. And then on this coming Wednesday, my next start is going to be another series that I found in a magazine. And that is Kathy Haberman's A Year of Celebrations. And I'm going to be starting the March one, and that will take me very little time because it's like 50 by 50. And I'm doing it on 32 count khaki linen. So that one will be a quick stitch one. Might give me some time to go back and work on one of my previous starts. We'll see. And that is all the stitching. This is my ort jar. Already done. And like, so all my new starts. Not my old stuff, but my new starts. All the orts are going in there. And it's fun and cool to watch, and I have no idea what I'm going to do at the end of the year with them. I may just toss them in, but see if I can fill up the jar, which I'm sure I will. And I think that's everything. No purchases this week. of floss tubers. I've kind of just been trying to keep up to date with my regulars that I always fall behind on. And I think that's everything. So I will see you in 2 weeks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy stitching. Oh, one more thing. For those of you who don't know, oh, and I have to look it up. Hang on, because I want to tell you the right thing. Lindy Stitches, who does the Jingle Ball every year, the online Jingle Ball, is doing I think 6 total online retreats, I guess, or online stitching. Well, virtual events, virtual stitching events this year. For those of you who didn't know or haven't heard, there is one on the last weekend of March. It is called Nash Stash Start-a-thon. It is March 28th and 29th, so Friday and Saturday, I think. And tickets are available from Lindy Stitch's website. $10 like the Jingle Ball and there's no classes, there's no shopping. It's just like chat rooms. And I think someone said that they were going to do the speed dating, and there might be a designer drop-ins, but I just thought I'd let you know, and I'll link her website in case you guys are anyone's interested. I'm going just for a chance to have a chat with some stitchers. Anyway, I think that's it. So once again, bye.